And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to March 2nd, Monday, March 2nd. February done, over. March here. March in like a lion. No, it's April. April showers, May flowers. March in like a lamb, out like a lion, out like, what is that one? What is that one with? Anyway, welcome. March, March, March. How are we doing? You know what I think of when I think of March? Spring. Spring is what I think of. I think spring is a great time of year because you start seeing rebranding, you start seeing refreshments, you start seeing rebirths of things. So now's the time to be reaching out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But it's your first time here, a long time here, and you know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area, along with your 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? I don't even know where to start on our list. I can start backwards. We've got meetings tonight. We have appointments for both kids today. We've got orders to pull. We've got 2 stores to close down and 1 to open up. So that's what we're rocking and rolling with. It was a busy weekend. It leads to a busy Monday. So we really appreciate that. Now, let's check in and see how people are doing. Barb, good morning, North Central Minnesota, where it's 18, sunshine, windy, windy. Water in the cup, 5 things: invoicing, 3D printing, design, layout, sewing alterations, order supplies. Renee, good morning. 25 on the way to 44, right? Yeah, and sunny. We don't have sun or overcast, but we're headed that way too. They told us on Friday we're gonna have a big snowstorm coming through on Sunday and Sunday night and the Monday. Nothing. I don't even believe until day of anymore. And that's pushing it. Water in the bottle, tea in the mug. I get coffee in the cup. That's what I got right there. Linda, good morning to you. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you from sunny Florida. Renee's 5 things: therapy, banking, mileage, grocery store, artwork, and organize the rest of the week. Hi, Linda. Busy day for Renee. Linda's currently 66 on the way to the 80s. Tea in the cup, 5 things: 3D print, cull photos from weekend Little League shoots, send photos for editing, design baseball banners, organize uniforms. Linda's got a busy day in front of her. George, good morning to you. Jerry, good morning. Barb's got her hi, Renee, Linda, and George. Lonnie, good morning to you. Worm moon tomorrow. What's a worm moon? We uh we played with a couple star apps over the weekend because what was it? 6 planets aligned behind the moon, and so we were overcast and really couldn't see it. But I was like, "Hey, Huds, we got the star map, and let's show him that." He's super fascinated with that. So, yeah, worm moon. That's new for me. And happy Monday, crew. Happy Monday to you too. In like a lion, out like a lamb, and we're not in like a lion, so maybe it'll be the other way. No snow here. No snow here. 30s and 40s this week. Looks like nice weather. I think we've got 40s and 50s this week. I'm down with that. We were trying to plan out what we were doing for dinners and that because it now starts the season of seems like every day something's going on with the kids. Like, okay, so we're gonna do steak sandwiches on Tuesday, which means I need to make sure everything today. Here's what time everything needs to start, so that way I can eat. Because hey, we've got Tuesday with Todd right too. So planning it all out. Comments. Oh yeah, comments aren't scrolling. There it is. Good call, Renee. There it is. I just had to turn the button off for it. Uh, I did a post on the. Okay, I'll go check it out. I will go check it out. I've used Sky Guides for years. Love it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And was like, oh, here's this and here's that, and the one that we have like the constellations. It shows the stars, but then if you hover there for a second, then it gives like an image of the constellation. It was pretty cool. You had a good time with it. G, good morning to you. So, what do you say we get right into this morning? Yeah, this morning. Yeah, because spring is the rebanding season, and are you reaching out for that? It's just not another production window. It can be a reset season for a lot of the businesses and organizations that you serve. Um, I feel like a lot of small businesses come out of winter, and they're preparing for the busy months. Your youth leagues are locking in sponsors and getting signups. Service companies are hiring crews and training. Websites are getting updated, logos are getting refreshed. Marketing pushes are getting planned, and all of those shifts can really create apparel demand long before you start seeing those posts. Who does shirts, right? I'll see those. And a lot of at-home apparel decorators, they just stay reactive with it. They wait for that who does shirts post. They wait for somebody to reach out. But spring is when a lot of decisions are shaped up. before your busy season even hits. So if you're not, reaching out during, the spring season, you're competing with everyone else later on. So today we're gonna, break down how spring positioning works across both small businesses and sports programs, and how to make sure that you're part of that refresh, not just chasing after it's already done. All right. So number one, spring hiring cycles, those create immediate uniform demands. Now, spring is expansion season for a lot of service-based businesses. Landscapers add crews, construction companies ramp up projects, HVAC companies prepare for, the heat season, pressure washing, lawn care, pest control. They all scale staffing before revenue spikes. And what do new hires mean? Well, new hires mean new shirts, new safety gear, new branded visibility. And those orders are not emotional purchases, they're just operational necessities. So if you reach out, now before peak season, you can become the supplier before the competitors even know that there's demand there for it. And uniforms, orders are often tied to hiring, and they're often, recurring. As crews grow, shirts wear out. They need to be replaced, right? And so securing that first batch of uniforms, that can lock you in for, a full season of orders. So example is a home-based decorator reached out to 3 local lawn care companies in March, offering a simple spring crew starter package. You know, 2 were onboarding employees and needed shirts immediately. Worked out great. You know, another decorator contacted a local HVAC company before their seasonal hiring push and secured a 24 shirt order that turned into multiple reorders throughout the summer. So, action step for this is, let's just make a list of 5 service-based businesses in your area and send them a short message asking if they added staff this spring and need to update their uniforms. Pretty simple, right? Okay. Number 2 is, sponsor renewals trigger apparel and banner refreshes. So, youth leagues, community programs, they offer renew or add sponsors in the spring, right? New sponsors. What do those mean? Those means new logos, updated for the banners, updated for team shirts, updated signage. Even sometimes updated online graphics. And even if the team colors stay the same, sponsor changes create design changes. And I know a lot of decorators treat banners and apparel separately, but that's a mistake. When you can bundle sponsor signage with apparel, you are increasing order value, and you really do reduce the risk. Reduce the chance that a league, can split vendors. You know, Now national vendors, those often silos those categories, and you can connect them. Yeah, we can do it all for you. Sponsor updates, also create urgency. Sponsors want visibility quickly, especially when they have money that's already been paid out. So if you're already in conversation, when those sponsors are finalized, you are the obvious solution for it. So number one, a decorator reaches out to a local little league, asking if they had new sponsors this season, and they offer, a banner and coach polo bundle. Right? The league kept the entire order with her instead of using multiple vendors. Another decorator noticed that new sponsor logos listed on the soccer registration page and proactively offered updating warm-up shirts featuring the sponsor placement. The league added the order without shopping around for it. So, for this action step, let's just reach out to one local league this week and ask directly, do you have any new sponsors that need updated banners or apparel this season? Pretty simple, right? So, number 3, website and logo updates signal brand refresh cycles. When a small business updates its website, its social media profile, or logo in the spring, it usually signals that more than just cosmetic changes are happening. It could often mean a marketing push, a repositioning effort, or a growth plan tied to a busy season. And apparel is part of that presentation, even if the owner hasn't thought about it yet. You know, old uniforms next to a new logo, those create inconsistencies. If they've invested in updating their visual identity, there is a really good chance that they're going to want their apparel to be aligned too. And your job is to notice that and then initiate the conversation. Now, tone can really matter here. You don't message saying, "Yo, you need shirts." What you do is you congratulate them on the refresh and offer to help align the staff apparel with their updated brand. That positions you as the observant and as observant impression professional, not just pushy. So, example is, a decorator saw a landscape company updating its branding colors on Facebook and set a congratulatory message offering updated polos. The owner appreciated the timing and placed an order before they even were looking for one. Another decorator noticed, a dance studio updated its logo before recital season and offered refreshed staff jackets, using their new palette. Owner of the studio responded because the timing aligned with their marketing push. So for this action step, we just need to take some time this week, 20 minutes, and just review local business pages for recent branding updates and create a targeted outreach list. All right. So before we get into 4 and 5, let's check back in and see where we're. Cindy, good morning. It is 30 degrees, and I am having Alania slush, lime slush. The hunt was on for those. I think Corey got them on Friday. Yeah. I think cut rhinestone templates, pay show fees, submit pics for holiday shows, wash table skirts for this weekend, start rhinestone order. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just think, Cindy, in like 2 weeks, we're going to have a building. And now we're not sure on retail if it's going to be retail, general retail, or order a line and pick up in store. There's a lot behind the scenes that's going on now, but just think, 2 weeks, we take possession like 2 weeks. That's crazy. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Alania. Hi, Cindy. Hi, hi, hi. Marketing is a must. Absolutely, G. Marketing is a must with that. Okay. So, tip 4 is spring repositioning requires that elevated apparel. Rebranding, it isn't always a new logo. Sometimes it's just a new service line, a new target audience, or a shift towards those higher end clients. Spring is when many small businesses reposition themselves before their busiest months hit. And when businesses reposition, their apparel needs to match that new message. If a contractor starts marketing commercial contracts, you know, sometimes the scrubby clothes that they're wearing can undermine the credibility of it. Like for us, when we ran the HVAC company, we had polos when you were going on sales calls, t-shirts for everything else. That's how it worked. This if a gym shift towards a corporate wellness package, that cleaner, elevated apparel, reinforces that professional image. And this is where you move beyond being the shirt supplier into the image alignment partner. You help them match their operational shift with visible branding upgrades. So, example of this, a decorator noticed a local contractor announced expansion into commercial projects and reached out offering embroidered polos for sales meetings. The initial order turned to a recurring uniform order. Another decorator saw Jim promote corporate wellness program and offered updated staff apparel to reflect a more professional look. The owner placed a sizable order and to support the repositioning effort. So, action step for this is just watch for local businesses announcing new services or expansions, and then send them a message offering apparel that aligns with their updated direction. Pretty easy, right? And number 5, early outreach positions you before demand peaks. Now, what does that mean? Well, spring outreach is not about desperation. It is all about timing. When businesses and leagues are planning, they're open. When they're overthinking in peak seasons or close to deadlines, they default to whoever they already know. You know, if you wait too long to push hard, you're competing with every other decorator who suddenly realizes, we need some revenue, we need to get out there. You know, if you reach out now, you become part of the planning conversations before decisions are locked in. And this is how you, being the at-home apparel decorator, can really create stability, right? You smooth your revenue curve by entering early instead of fighting for leftovers later. You know, that difference between scrambling and scaling is often just timing. So, example of this, you know, a decorator sent a simple spring brand refresh message to 15 local businesses and secured 3 uniform updates before summer started. You know, another decorator posted a spring sponsor refresh, you know, offer in a local Facebook group and secured 2 banner jobs before leagues were finalized, before leagues were already finalizing sponsors. So for this, just draft a simple, you know, refresh, you know, a simple refresh outlet template and send it to 10 local businesses, organizations this week. So to recap all this, spring hiring cycles create uniform demand. Sponsor renewals drive banner and apparel refreshes. Website updates signal brand alignment opportunities. Business business repositioning requires elevated apparel, and early outreach positions you before peak demand locks in. So wrap it up, get it up, put it here. You know, spring does not have to be, you know, a slow season by any means. You know, it is 100% a positioning season. You know, while some others may wait for orders, you can step into that planning conversation. You can align with hiring cycles. You can align with sponsor updates. You can align with brand refreshes. And businesses repositioning before they become urgent, you can align with them too. And that is how you can build that steady revenue instead of chasing it. Now, the opportunity isn't hidden, it's just out there, and you have to be willing to go get it. So, that's what we have for you today. On Wednesday, what are we talking about? We're talking spring still. You know, we're talking spring, you know, is those cruise seasons, you know, and are you landing, you know, then that's landscapers, contractors, cleaning companies, and, you know, why they buy in the spring. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday. Tomorrow night, Tuesday with Todd. If you don't know, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to go like, subscribe, share, do all of that stuff for it. Tomorrow night, Tuesday with Todd, 7 p.m. We're going over HTV anything. Talking with Corey, and she's like, I think I only used it once. And so we said, okay, she's gonna rock and roll with it. So look forward to that tomorrow night. Kill me soon, Cindy. Soon. We'll have to get together and chat over this because it's wild on how everything's playing out, and we'll see with it. And she says, execution, consistency, and intentional visibility on social media. Absolutely. I love it. That's what we're doing. She's rocking it with that. So, all right, mentorship community, your call starts in about 29 minutes. Everybody else, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow night, Tuesday with Todd, 7 p.m. And I think that's it. I think that's it with it. All right. With that, you guys have an amazing day. And until next time, peace, love, press on. We will see you then.